Hare Krishna, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Putale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Desatarine, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachanam Pangum Langate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarine. Hare Krishna. So today is verse number 9. Now Krishna is explaining about the renunciation, different types of renunciation. So to this chapter, he first explained the ignorance by moha, by illusion. Yesterday we saw about passion, renunciation in passion. Now, in this verse, Krishna explains about renunciation in mode of goodness. What is actual renunciation? So passion is like we don't want the trouble, don't want the hard work, so we renounce. That is passion. So let us see what is actually goodness. Karyam iti eva yat karma.
Karyam iti eva yat karma.
Niyatam kriyate Arjuna.
Niyatam kriyate Arjuna.
Sangha tyaktva phalam chaiva.
Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva.
Satyagaha satviko mataha.
Satyagaha satviko mataha.
So,
Karyam iti eva yat karma. Niyatam kriyate Arjuna. Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. Satyagaha satviko mataha.
कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म नियतं क्रियते अर्जुन संगं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव सत्याग सात्विको मतः.
translation and purport. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. Purport. Prescribed duties must be performed with this mentality. One should act without attachment for the result. He should be disassociated with the modes of work. A man working in Krishna consciousness in a factory does not associate himself with the work of the factory, nor with the workers of the factory. He simply works for Krishna, and when he gives up results for Krishna, he is acting transcendentally. This is actually a practical guideline. So Krishna is never recommending to renounce the work or renounce any duty. When we say duty, it's also niyat karma. So whatever are prescribed duties. So Shastra mentions different duties for different ashram, varna, and also the duties that should be done regularly. So offering respects to elders, fire sacrifices, all these activities are prescribed. So this should not be given up. This should be performed. But the mood of doing these activities is the critical, or not critical, it's important. By which mood you are doing that activities, that actually decides the mood. So if we do all these activities just because they are supposed to be done, so like Srila Prabhupada mentions about working in factory. So that person or that devotee goes to factory, works, but he does his duty. And how does he do? He does it very seriously. It's not like that you go to office but you don't work, just do time pass and come back. No, you will do your responsibility honestly and with your full knowledge and strength and seriously. but you are not attached to the results, or you are not involved with those activities. When you are not attached to the results, actually you get detached from it. But when you are attached to the results, you automatically get involved in the activity. Then all the complication actually starts. Who is doing what he's doing, what I am doing, what others are doing, what others are getting, what I am getting. All this complication starts when there is attachment. So we have to be detached. Just do the activities and forget. So this state of mind is actually key to peacefulness. Okay. So karyam iti eva yat karma niyatam kriyate. Just do as it is a karma. It is my duty. You should do. Sangam tattva phalam. Give up the attachment to the results. So actually, like when we are working in office, we are or in our daily life also, how we are attached to very minor level, we can judge from our behavior. So when we send an email, so for example in office, I'm sending some mail, and I expect some result from that. I want a particular reply, that's why I send that particular mail. And then I wait for the reply, and when the reply comes, I see if it is positive, in line with what I was thinking, or it is not in line with what I was thinking. If it is in line, I am satisfied. If it's opposite to what I was thinking, then I am not happy, or I am in anxiety. So this is a simple example that, okay, when we send mails or we send messages, we are very much involved in those activities. And nowadays, like we think that the phone is helping us, but actually it takes a lot of time, uh, unnecessary time. We spend a lot of unnecessary time on the phone and messaging. And it's not that why after sending the message we are detached from it. No, we get involved in those messaging, especially when we write long messages, or we write in anger, or we want to express somehow. So you write in a mail, or you write the message or something. Actually, that we get too much involved in all those activities. So best is when we are angry or frustrated, we should not write anything. Speaking, at least if you speak directly, at least there is some communication. If there is gap, it can be removed. But when you write, there is already a communication gap, because our intention of writing uh, is not always conveyed in the way we write. And also, when somebody reads those messages or those mails, it depends on which situation that person is in that particular time when he receives the mail. So there are so many parameters which define. So why I'm telling this is, we get involved in all these activities day to day by day, and every moment and every day we are doing so many things, and unknowingly we get involved. That's why Krishna is telling to Arjuna, because he has to fight, and he's going to kill. Right? Fighting a war means what? You have to kill the enemies, and that activity itself is so painful if you are good at heart, and then you may feel the pain, or you may feel compassion. So many angles can come in that. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that at least in mode of goodness, if you want to do, don't get attached. And when you are not attached to the results, and over and above that, if you offer the results of that work to Krishna, then that is a transcendental activity. Then it is above the modes, because Krishna is above the modes. So Vishnu is above these three modes. So when you offer it to them, it's transcendental. That is what Srila Prabhupada mentions, that if you offer the results to Krishna or Vishnu, it's transcendental. So this is the way of actually doing the activities. So person who is trying to become Krishna conscious, he does all the activities same way done by the normal person. But The difference is his internal intentions and his internal detachment from those activities that actually define the spiritual progress. Because he is not attached to the results, he is making progress actually with every activity. So you do many activities in one day, but if you are not attached to anything, actually you are making progress. But if you get attached to activities, you are actually getting entangled. I'm not saying that you will degrade yourself, but you get entangled. So then it becomes our due work. So we have to work more to get detached. So this way, actually, by day-to-day activities also determine how we will make progress in spiritual life. So mode of goodness is always helpful. Uh, it is always better to be in mode of goodness rather than passion and ignorance. Always we should try. Of course, bhakti is above the modes, and we want to do bhakti. So we should not be caught up in all these things. But when we have to do our regular karma, our regular duties, we associate with the modes. And if you are in a situation that when you are remembering Krishna 24 hours a day, then it's no problem. You are transcendental position, then you don't have to worry about all these things. But even if we are thinking, because we are conditioned, we get entangled in so many things. Even if you remember Krishna, we will do some activity, we get angry. Why we get angry? Because we are still conditioned. We are not completely free from all this conditioning. So to handle this, actually we should try to be at least in mode of goodness whenever we notice. That will help us to, of course, mode of goodness is result is what? Knowledge and happiness. So knowledge is important. So Krishna, now from this verse onwards, Krishna will actually explain how this should be done, how you should be detached from the results, and how a particular activity should be done. How any action should be done rather than a particular. It's applicable for all the actions that we do in our day-to-day life. So that Krishna will explain, I think, from this next verse. Okay. So we'll continue to see that how all these every action should be done. What should be our mental state? What should be our consciousness? So we'll see that from tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So any comments, questions, or reflections, anything? Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.